Hey, everybody, I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the lifeboat. And you know what? If I had a clothespin, I would probably have it on my nose for the duration of this video. I kid you not. Hey, everybody, Patrick, good to see you. Davey, glad you're here. Hello, Timmy. Mrs. C, Lumen, Miss Sunrise Dawn, Mischief Managed. Lori Hart, good to see you. Hello, Mrs. C. Glad you're here. Jenny, creepy, Mrs. C. Isn't that what Fonzie called Mrs. Cunningham? Brandon Calloway, good to see you, my brother Shag Nasty. Glad you're here. Hello, Lisa from New Jersey. Lord Kissfleek, Ashley, Rona, Cindy, Chili Mancer, huh? Chili Mancer, what? Gigi, good to see you. Dixie 504. Oh, Susie Q. Anik, Alexander. Anik, good to see you. Mary Jones, always an honor. Dirty Mouse. But first, coffee. Nat B from Canada, good to see you. Colleen, glad you're here. Flamin' Jackson, that's right. I'm doing roll call. Live with it. See, these people are here all the time. These are friends. All right. There'll be a bunch of new people here because of the damn title of this. You know what, people? Yeah, I saw a picture looking really great with that new grill. We're looking really great. Be seeing that shortly. Samantha, thank you. Welcome. Noel, good to see you. All right, we've been covering this case, people. That's how most of us met, isn't it? I was at the I Am Really Live, Dirty Mouse. Here's, look at that. Just so that you know I'm not lying. Look at that. I am really live, huh? That'll prove it. So here's the deal. I've been talking about this Danny Masterson thing for a really long time. Hi, Tampa Bay. And so we're going to continue. I've said there's no getting away from this. And I'm not exaggerating. Over 30 of you have reached out to me. And you know what's really funny? More than half of you have said, hey, please don't mention my name. And I get it. So here's the deal. The big concern among everybody, because we've heard stories about inmates who are actually put into women's prisons while they still have male genitalia, right? In most of these cases, bad things have happened where people have gotten pregnant. A lot of, hey, inappropriate hap, good to see you. A lot of really bad things have happened. There have been, essays, right? Assaults, all kinds of things. And you start thinking about a sick, twisted piece of human filth like this trash ending up in a place like that. And a lot of people begin to panic and have asked my take on this. Here's my take. You've seen a lot of people talking about this, right? Have you seen it any place that has you concerned? Honestly, are you seeing any place that has you concerned? I'm not seeing this in any kind of really major kind of news outlets. But what we do know is this, right? What we do know is he just got out of intake and was sent to a special needs yard, right? So he was going to a special needs yard no matter what. He's Danny Masterson, right? He's that dude from that 70s show. So he's going to a PC, protective custody, special needs yard. If you were to have said, I'm a woman trapped in a man's body, he was going to end up on a special needs yard. There are some things that go along with that. Number one, before they send you off to a prison other than a male prison, you're going to have to take a crap load of female hormones. Now, I saw people in transfer centers. I saw people in county jails. And I saw people at the last yard I was at who were taking tons of female hormones. And we're in the process of transforming from male to female. Many of them had fully formed breasts, had no facial hair, had long hair, and from 8 to 10, no clickbait here, I promise. From about 8 to 10 feet away, really looked the part. No clickbait. I am answering, and I see where you would say that. I see where you would say that, man. And I'll tell you right now, like I said, I'd like to do this with a clothespin on my nose. I'm probably going to make more money on this video than any other one I do all month. And that leaves a bad taste in your mouth, to be really honest with you. Whoa, and Hummingbird. Wow. Good for you. Thank you so much. That is, how cool is that, people? 20 of you just became ensigns here on the lifeboat. Good to see you. Looking good and green. And much love. Thank you so much. SBTV Tattoo Warrior says, hey, Squirrel, Johnny Spanks. Good to see you. Good to see you. Wow. Yeah. And Hummingbird, thank you so much. So, it has been something that we've ridden from day one, right? Aaron and I started talking about this when he had me on to talk about how I thought people like that were treated in prison. And there's been a lot of speculation since. You want me to comment on this? I really, look, I'm not stoked about this. I went and saw at least so far 5 that you have sent me videos done by other people who are saying this is the card the guy is playing. I don't know where they're getting this info, especially considering that the yards are all locked down, right? When somebody attacks somebody, the yards locked down. Now, maybe somebody with a cell phone is calling out and saying, yo, you know, Masterson's playing this card. This is something a lot of people do. Make no mistake. They're not taking him tomorrow to a woman's prison. Don't start getting that in your head. He would be in a man's prison for a long time getting female hormones, right? And Danny's mom, listen, we'll get back to Danny Masterson. I really appreciate you saying that out loud. It's a difficult thing. By the way, if you're here and you've never been here before, this is what I talk about on this channel, right? I have followed the Danny Masterson case because I do true crime, but nothing is more important than this. Danny's mom, thank you for not suffering in silence. And thank you for having the guts to say, today's the day that I want to drink. Thoughts and prayers going out to you. For real. There isn't anything more important than that. And that's the gospel truth. Proud of you. And I'm proud of everybody here who every day has decided we will not suffer in silence. And when we feel it, we're going to say it so that people can do what we do best, right? Which is rise up to the occasion and say, hey, I'm here for you. By the way, Danny, this isn't going to be a long video. So we'll stick around, huh? And we'll reach out. But I really appreciate what you just did. And I really am glad that you are here. So stick around. People, the concern is that this vulture is going to get allowed to be put into the hen house, so to speak. Right? You're going to have a fox in the hen house. You're going to have this guy. One of the takes of a woman I got said, boy, if you put that little weasel now with knowing what everyone knows in a woman's prison, they're going to kill him, right? Quicker than a man's prison would. And I said, there's probably something to that, right? I can see where someone would say that. But there is no danger, people, in this guy ending up in a woman's prison in the next couple of days, okay? Not going to happen. 208 days sober from drink. Michelle Carter, this is also an excellent point. I don't know how they can allow, considering his convictions. You're right, okay? You are right. They are going to have to take into account what he did. They're also going to take into account the fact that there is zero reason in his past that is going to make you go, huh, I wonder. Usually, the people that pull this card have something in their past where you can at least say, well, for a period of time, they were, this dude has been really well known for his entire life, right? We've all known who this guy is, right? He had a wife who showed up every day with him to court, who he professed to love more than anything in the entire world. But for him to come out today and say, oh, by the way, since you decided you're going to put me into a prison where people want to hurt me and they're all bigger than I am, I think I was born in the wrong body. This is a card that gets played every single day. And it gets played by people like him, right? They're not new at this. Do some fall through the cracks? Yes. Yeah, but offenders, people who have done this, are really looked at through a microscope. Do you know what that microscope is? Huh? Psychiatry. Right? Now, according to what we have all been told, right? LRH the gentleman that started the cult of Scientology, he was not a big fan of of psychiatry, and has made a pretty big deal about how you do not talk to them, right? They're the salt of the earth. He has got to participate like a big dog if he wants to pull this off. And I don't just mean participate. He's not just walking in and going, hey, I'm willing to talk to the psychiatrist. And I think I was born. This dude is going to spend hundreds of hours of time talking to different psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors, right? All of these different things. And you know what? I don't see it happening. Now, some of the people who are speculating on this are saying, you know, the guy's a trained actor. And I bet no one who sits across from him is going to think of that. Okay? They all keep saying this is an Emmy nominated or Emmy award winning. Guess what, man? They know that. They know that. Trust me when I tell you, he ain't pulling the wool over the eyes you think that he's going to. And it's yeah, Steven, that's funny. I hope Aaron's feeling better. I haven't seen anything out of him yet. I hope he's feeling. Hope he's up and feeling better. Can't wait to hear Aaron's take on this scamology. Declare Danny Masterson now. It's a really good question, isn't it? Hillary B, good to see you. It's a really good question. Are they going to come out and now declare this? He's not a very good actor, says Chow Yun Smut. Yeah, he's not that good, is he? Speaking of which, I don't know if you know, but she does a show very, very late at night. She does a late night show. You ever seen it? You guys ever checked out that show? If you happen to have but can he pay off his psychiatrist, Hillary B? You'd be really surprised how difficult that would be. I'm not kidding. And the reason is, I'll tell you in a sec. No, I'll tell you now, and then I'll get back to this. The reason is this. There is redundancy like you would not believe. So one person is not going to declare him, okay, head off. It is going to be a process where he is going to be going through so many different levels and so many different people. He would have to be paying off people left and right. And you're going to make an offer to somebody who says, what? And turns you in. It's happened to just about anybody that's ever tried to start paying people off. There is always that one person that you're going to come across that does not pay. Good question. Good question. Now, there are different states that are now saying, now, like in the feds, let me tell you how this works. You want to go to a woman's prison? Okay, you can do it. And they're going to pay for the surgery. But if you're going into a woman's prison, you're going in there without your junk. That's how it is in the feds. You are not walking into a woman's prison, right, with male genitalia. And I don't care if it's not working right because it's of all the chemicals you're taking or whatever. No, you're not going in there unless it is not there. And they have people there that have done everything but. I'm telling you, I was in Oregon. I was in Sheridan, Oregon. And there was I called the person a woman. People used to get really angry about that. The person wants to be called a woman. What do I care? I promise you, this person looked a hell of a lot more, right, like a woman than it did a man. I assure you. And I was blown away. It looked so much like a woman. But you will see that. And I said, how can that be? And even the guard said, well, because the equipment down below is still the equipment down below. If the equipment down below gets changed, then that person could get sent to a woman's prison. But it is different in state than in the feds, and Cali's different. The Cali lawyer, and I, by the way, I've reached out to some people in the California prison system who I have been corresponding with. I don't mean inmates. I'm talking about there are some people who watch the boat who are movers and shakers in the California prison system. On the I can't believe I'm saying this. I almost said on the good guy side. Not on the inmate side, but on the prison side, right? I guess on the good guy side. I don't know. They've never felt like the good guy side to me. I'll be really honest with you. Phoenix says, Danny won't get his junk removed, so he's screwed by the gay boy gangsters. Now, I missed probably shouldn't. We try from time to time. The GBG is a real thing. And you'll hear a lot of people talk about the GBG thing. How did we get from GBG green lights to DM wanting to be a trans? It's frustrating. This is it, people. This is it. All right. Pay attention. Every time somebody puts up a video, the farther out it gets, the more people watch it. Right. So this, right. I swear to you, I said, like the last one, the GBG thing, there were some people that commented on that. And I said, I'm going to come out and talk about that because the people that did videos on this have in the past shown an ability to find out what's happening inside of prisons. He had people that legit style. That was jumpsuit Pablo is the guy I was referring to. The people that you sent me that were commenting on this were other names, and they're bigger. They are bigger internet content creators than I am. I'll be really honest. It doesn't seem to me that I don't pick fights with content creators because it's a big time waste of time, right? I have a problem with this entire concept. And I'll be honest with you, people, if it doesn't get reported in mainstream media, right, I kind of am going to start skipping. I know that the last time I said this, people said, look, man, this is where we would like to hear about Danny, and we're going to keep coming back to hear about it. And I appreciate that. And you know what? Sound like a hypocrite, I'm sure, but I'm telling you right now, it's going to make me a buttload of money, right? These videos make me a buttload of money, but they're not what we do here. In all honesty, it's not, right? Especially if I think that it's getting out there. But what I don't want is a bunch of you really tripping about the concept that they're going to let this dude now go and do what he did on the street, right? Because it's the same principle, right? On the street, he had a whole crew of people who were basically locked up, who really couldn't complain to the public, right? And he could go and do whatever he wanted. And that's everybody's fear. And I'm telling you, take a deep damn breath, because even if that's the card that this guy plays, and I said when I was on Aaron's channel, somebody put in a super chat, you telling me there's no way this guy could stay alive? And I said, you know what? If he could stay alive long enough on those on those hormones and taking all of that stuff, if you can keep yourself alive while you're taking that, yeah, maybe you could ride it out. Man, and there are people who play that card. Guess what? The people who play that card start acting like girls in there. It's not just a matter of taking hormones. You understand what I'm saying? They tend to become very active. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it's going to be more than him deciding he's going to take a bunch of female hormones, because there are a bunch of guys in there who really like people who take female hormones. Like for them, that's where they're going to find the love of their life for real. And I don't know that he is really signing up. Did I just say Danny and buttload in the same sentence? Oh, that's really funny. And Calhoun, you're funny too. Yeah, I did. I did say Danny and buttload in the same sentence. There's going to be a lot of action. When you start to look like a girl in a men's prison, there are a lot of men who start treating you like one. That means that they get amorous, right? They get amorous. They get lovey, and not in a way not in the way I'd like to be loved. Yeah, you know what, Mud Skipper, you're wrong. You're wrong. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, and yeah, there are men in California prisons, and they are people who throughout and can demonstrate through one conviction after another. This is a game that people start playing, and it is a card that gets played over time. This man went a really long time as a man, and he's going to try to now drop a card. They're not as stupid as you think they are, people. You understand? They're not as stupid as you think they are. I promise you. He's, again, the number of psychiatrists and psychologists that he is going to talk to. Transition meds don't reduce violence rates. In prison, they cause them. I promise you. I promise you. Every time there was somebody on the yard who was taking hormones, there were fist fights all over the place because of, right? I promise you, Mud Skipper, the reason he ain't going to get there is because it would be on the mainstream media. Now, are there a bunch of people that are flying below the radar that are ending up in there? Yeah. This guy's high profile, right? So all of the things that they may be doing and may be getting away with, you ain't getting away with Danny Masterson, right? I am a flipping nobody, right? And I'm going to come on here and talk about what I think and give you my opinion on this, and 30,000 people are going to watch it. And who am I, right? This is a big name, and this ain't going away. This story isn't dying. I wish it would. Honest to God, I would. But this story isn't dying. And people, you talk about, yeah, well, he's a great actor. Personally, I never found him a great actor, right? He does comedies. It's a, it was really kind of shtick. I never found the guy to be an amazing actor. However, he's going to now have to act among people who his entire life he's been told are Satan, right? He's going to be talking to one shrink after another, and they're going to start putting him on drugs that he's not going to be real happy taking. Even if he did, pretty sure the women wouldn't be any happier to see him than the guys are. Women can be dangerous too, correct? Oh boy, can they. And there are women in there that are big, that are working out, that are, I'm telling you, I don't think he'd be real happy in a women's prison. What is that boy? About $160? Soaking wet? I mean, I saw him in court. One of the first things I thought was, that is not a big dude, right? I think I talked about it at the time. Where I sat was back behind and looking this way. JP Stone, that's actually, yeah, JP Stone gets it. I was sitting one row behind, one row back, and to the left of him. And like I said at the time, they let him put on a suit, which made everybody sick. His ankles, I promise you, his ankles were smaller than my wrist. Like, I remember looking at this dude and going, this ain't a big dude. It really, I was struck by the size of him. It really kind of freaked me out. So he better start doing the Thorazine shuffle. I think that's his best bet. Now, that's an angle. JP Stone's probably done time or knows some people that do. When you have been on that stuff long enough, right, you get this T-Rex thing, and I'm not picking on it. There's a name for it. Normally, I would have remembered it, but the old gray matter ain't what it used to be. There's a term for this. When you've been on Thorazine too long, there's an actual term, and your hands kind of go like this, and they kind of look like T-Rex, and people don't move very quickly. And they tend to, and you do really start doing, they call it the Thorazine shuffle, and nothing else looks like it. It's one of the saddest things you've ever seen. But if he goes in there and he plays the crazy card, and I'm not picking on the word, it's what it's called in prison. I'm using the vernacular. Okay. It's called playing the crazy card. Wow. Category 5, right? Or what is it? jcat. Sorry. It's because it started in the California system, category J. And that literally means, right, if you want to go that route, you're going to have to start pooping in your cell, right? Writing on the wall in it. I'm not playing you, folks. This is if you want to go and play that card, right? And be a jcat, you're going to start playing with your own poop, and you're going to start doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Not showering for really long periods of time, playing with your own feces, right? And swallowing things that you're not supposed to swallow. He will need to be doing all 3 of those things regularly. And what they're going to do is put them on Thorazine. And when they put them on Thorazine, then they have to actually put you away from people who can touch you or hurt you, because people on Thorazine are way too easy to victimize, because they basically live their life in a very rugged fog. It's might be his best play, but you know what 30 years of the Thorazine shuffle are going to do to that boy? By the time he gets out, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, that is exactly what it is. Lady J says, prison sounds decidedly unpleasant. Well, it is designed to be unpleasant. Excellent to know. Would you do me a huge favor and reach out to me just so you know? And would you do it to tommyscoville@gmail.com? Don't do it to the other address. Do it to tommyscoville@gmail.com and write Thorazine shuffle and the fact that you're a doctor so that it does not get in any way lost in the shuffle. I'd love to talk to you. I'll tell you something. I know that there are a lot of drugs that they use instead of, right? And I know that some of the you see a lot of people that were on Seroquel. That was a huge drug. Remeron seemed to be one that was getting very, very popular. Now they do the Seroquel stomp. Seroquel has a bunch of lawsuits attached to it, and I think one of the reasons it probably does is because the vast majority of people who are taking it, I think we're probably taking it inside. I think that there's just, it knocks you out. ASAP Lizzie says it knocks you out. And you know what? ASAP Lizzie is spot on. It knocks you out. Trazodone says Soul Reaper. You know what? They give Trazodone to people, but it's not as hard. Would they let him transition? Here's the scary thing. I'm sorry, Spanx Calhoun, my bad. Question, Tommy, would they let him do this transition? Theoretically, they can't stop him. Just telling you the truth. Theoretically, they can't stop him. If a person says, I am really trapped in a woman's body, they have to let you do that. But they don't go, okay, get in the bus. We're taking you over to the woman's prison. He's going to spend a long time, right? Who pays for the meds and surgery that is needed? Why, you do, Evie. You do. That's your tax dollars hard at work. So you can get all mad at whatever you want, but that's your California tax dollars at work. And your federal income tax pays for it in the feds. Snip, snip. If in the feds, if you want to go there, you're just going to have to get that thing removed. The Seroquel stomp. Never heard of that, but I'm intrigued. Well, Seroquel does make people. Here's the thing. Seroquel is another one of those drugs where I knew some people that took unbelievable amounts of it, right? The first guy that I ever met, they called Sticks. Sticks was in county jail. Sticks is dead. But Sticks was my cellie in county jail. And I was kicking heroin. And I hadn't slept in like 2 weeks. And I said to him, I said, man, I am dying. And he goes, do you like tea? And I said, no, I'm not much of a tea drinker. I said, and I don't want anything with caffeine in it, dude. The kind of dying I got, like I haven't slept in forever. And he said, you want this tea. And when he went up for pill line, he dropped the pills. And they were 450 milligram. I took 900 milligrams of Seroquel. And I was out. I missed 3 meals, man. I slept through breakfast, lunch, and dinner, was up the next day. But this cat took that every day and was functional, normal. I think there are people who need it. And for those people, it's not that big a deal. Jason Donovan says, Remeron gives you really bad dreams. You're not the first person I've heard say that. I've never taken it. I don't know anything about it, but I know that a lot of people have been doing it. Tampa B says, my daughter took Seroquel. I once spent an entire September on Seroquel in the SHU, in the segregated housing unit. You know what? I'm not putting up, something just went by. Then it said that there are people, when people make proclamations, right, that I can't verify, I'm not putting them up, right? And some of the things that you people are saying, for instance, there are serial killers and people who aid women that are now serving time in women's prisons. I'm going to tell you something. I couldn't find that. I couldn't. And it was something that I did a crap load of trying to find before I did this. And in the cases where there are people who are in there, but they've lost their stuff. In order to do that, you are going to lose your junk. They're not sending you in there with your equipment. having been that. So once again, this is not a process where you sign a piece of paper and they take you across the street. He's going to have to convince a lot of people that he is what he says he is. There are going to be bunches and bunches and bunches and bunches of people who he is going to have to convince. All of them, he has been told since birth, are the evilest people in the world, and you should never speak to them. I think this is going to be a struggle. I don't think there's a chance in hell this happens. I think it was probably made up by some people, because I sure as hell can't find it anywhere in the real world. I think at this point, people, about every 2 weeks, something is going to come out and people are going to go, I need another paycheck. I'm sorry. I think that's where we're at. Now, I could not say that, right? And I could just keep this crap going, right? Because it does pay. I promise you, people. I'd rather talk about, right? I'd rather talk about someone that right now feels like they need the drink, right? That's really what I'd rather do. But this is something that all of you, I mean, a lot of you have said, look, man, I want you to keep talking about this until this is over. And I'm gonna keep commenting. He's screwed any way you look at it, says Dennis the Menace. Let me tell you something. He is a piece of crap. Yes. The details, right? Just how horrific everything was isn't common knowledge. Did I get Suboxone in prison? No, I did not. You could buy Suboxone in prison at $400 a strip. So it would not have made a lot of sense for me. Since then, they have figured out a way to start giving it to people who need it, right? But you know, I like this. No, cut it off. Back to this. He's not looking at easy time, people. If this is the route he takes, he's gonna wish he didn't. He's gonna wish he didn't. You understand? Let me try to now that we're 32 minutes into this, there are going to be hundreds of guys that want to have sex with him as soon as he says he's a woman. And there are people who try to get to those sensitive needs yards because they think all of those people taking hormones are as close to woman as they're ever going to get. And he's going to find himself a hell of a lot of people that want to sleep with him. And he's going to do a lot of time taking those hormones prior to them going, okay, now are we ready to start thinking about taking it to the next level? Right? There is a long period of time. Now, he's also going to have to start doing stuff like changing his appearance, right? It's not that you just get to say, oh, I'm like this, right? Now they sell bras and panties, right? He's now going to have to, he's going to start looking the part. And when he starts looking the part and that beard goes away and the facial hair starts going away, because that's what happens when they start handing that stuff out, that boy's going to look pretty. I'm not trying to, but just keep it real. He ain't a big dude. I used 2 pictures for the thumbnail today for a reason. Look at that picture of him. He starts taking, yeah, he's a pretty boy and he ain't big. I promise you. He starts taking this. I'm keeping this real, people. I have not spoken to either of the Jane Does about this. Sasha, once again, this is not something that was reported wildly, that people said, yeah, you know, he's on the SA, well, he's on the suicide watch again. You know what? The only place you're hearing that is on YouTube, right? The stuff really isn't coming out into the big world. And when that happens, it really makes me wonder if we're not all just trying to get a payday. And I'm not mad at anybody trying to make a living, right? I'm not. And I'm going to come on here and I'm going to tell you what's up. And when the GBG thing came out, I came on here and said, you know what? That smells like it could really be real to me, man. That smells like it could really be real to me. Because you know what? Those are the people you would have as shot callers on sensitive need yards, right? There will be a bunch of gay people on sensitive need yards because if you're gay, they send you to a sensitive needs yard, right? And the GBG are real, right? They were thick in the feds, man. They had them at again, Oregon had it. The GBG were there, and you know what? They were not disrespected. They really were not. They were left alone to do their thing because they weren't rats. They didn't have bad paperwork, right? If they had bad paperwork, they were gone. They just happened to like guys. But there were some stone cold killers in that pack, and they just happened to like guys. That one, After looking it over, I evaluated. I came on. I said, yeah, I could see this, people. I really could. I'm telling you, I don't see this, people. I really don't. And if this is the decision that old Danny has come up with for how he's going to try to ride this out, I think he's made a really bad decision. How's that? Like he's made a really, really bad decision. And truthfully, that's about all I got to say. I'd like to get back to my friend who is going to reach out to me now, as soon as I get off this live, because that to me is you're good, Johnny. Don't trip. That to me is more important than what we're talking about. So you know who you are, Danny's ma. Let's get to the heavy lifting, right? Please reach out. He's the master of bad decisions. Well, let him make one then. Seriously. Let him get as pretty as he possibly can, right? Let him get as pretty as he possibly can, and then go live among people who like pretty guys that want to be girls. I think he'll have a hell of a lot of fun. And I promise you, people, he'll be doing that for years before they let him go somewhere else. Doesn't end well for him. NC status, people. I've said it and I will say it again. He's got NC status, right? JP Stone, I appreciate you trying to get your act together, and I appreciate you being here and being a voice, speaking out, saying, you know what, I'm not ashamed. There's a lot to that. You listen, do you know why I didn't do this? Do you know why I didn't do this, Lene? How tempting is this for a thumbnail, right? Daniela, right? That would make a great thumbnail, and it's clickbait like you read about, right? Before I do stuff like that, I go and check to see if maybe there's already a Daniela Masterson that has a life that I'd write like not to screw up at all. And there happens to be one. And this person actually has a legitimate life and has a social media profile and has nothing to do with this dude or anything else. And you know what? Probably going to be a rough few weeks for her because a lot of other people are going to be doing a lot of Danielle Masterson stuff. And it doesn't take too much of that before when someone Googles, they get that instead of Danny, the real Daniela. I'm not doing that. But yes, that's what a lot of people are saying, that he's already trying to call himself that. Sounds good to me, people. Sounds good to me. But I'll tell you what, I'm not buying it. You wanted my take. I'm giving you my take. I don't buy it. I really don't. I don't buy it. So there you go. Now I'm gonna go check in with my friend, and I will see you all at 6 o'clock. You know what we do. And to someone earlier who said they love my this is my favorite drinking glass. This is awesome. Yep, I'm not buying it. This right here is a cat in a basket. I'm Captain Tommy. Where's that kid? I got one. Spanx Calhoun. Where are you at? You would think he was. But you know what?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Alrighty. Yeah, same time as always. My dad just gets it mixed up. We're on the 5, and that's Pacific time. Just so everyone knows.
See you on the next one. God bless.